Hello, and welcome back to English Everyday Podcast. I'm Sam. I was at the coffee shop this morning, and I overheard two people trying to start a conversation. One of them said, "Nice weather today," and the other just said, "Yeah." And then silence. Just this awkward, quiet moment where both of them were kind of looking around. And it got me thinking about how hard it can be sometimes to just talk to people. Like, what do you say when you meet someone new? How do you keep a conversation going? So today we're talking about small talk. And I'm going to share with you 100 sentences that native English speakers actually use every single day to start conversations, to keep them flowing, and to sound natural and friendly. These aren't fancy phrases or business English or anything complicated. These are real, everyday sentences that you can use at work, at the bus stop, in a coffee shop, anywhere, really. Now, you know the drill with this podcast. We use the shadowing method here. So when I pause, I want you to repeat what I just said. Say it out loud. Don't just listen. This helps your mouth get used to English sounds. And honestly, that's how you get fluent over time. And remember, this is a 6-month journey we're on together. You're building something real here, step by step, day by day. All right, so let's talk about small talk. And I want to start by saying something important. Small talk is not pointless. I know it might feel that way sometimes, like, why are we talking about the weather when we could be talking about something meaningful? But here's the thing. Small talk is how you build relationships. It's how you make friends, how you build connections at work, how you show someone you're friendly and approachable. Think about it. You don't meet someone and immediately start talking about your deepest fears or your biggest dreams, right? That would be kind of intense. You start with something light, something easy, something comfortable. And that's what small talk is for. So let's go through different situations and the kinds of sentences you can use. I'm going to break this into categories. And as we go, I'll explain some vocabulary and we'll practice together. Let's begin with the very beginning. How do you actually start talking to someone? These are your conversation starters. Hi, how are you doing? Simple, right? This is probably the most common greeting in English. You can use it with anyone, anywhere. How's it going? This is more casual, more relaxed. You'd use this with coworkers, friends, people your age. Nice to meet you. When you're meeting someone for the first time, this is perfect. Long time no see. This one's great when you haven't seen someone in a while. It's friendly and warm. What brings you here? I love this one. You can use it at events, parties, meetings. It's a natural way to ask why someone is at the same place as you. Let me say that again. Repeat after me. What brings you here? Good. Now, here's one that's really useful. Have we met before? Use this when someone looks familiar but you're not sure. It's polite and it opens up the conversation. You look familiar. Similar to the last one, right? It's another way to start talking to someone you think you might know. I don't think we've been introduced. This is a bit more formal. You might use this at a work event or professional situation. Now, one of my favorite easy starters is, nice weather we're having. I know. Talking about the weather is such a cliché. That word cliché means something that's been done so many times, it's become predictable or boring. But you know what? People talk about the weather because it works. It's something everyone can relate to. It's safe, it's neutral. Beautiful day, isn't it? Same idea. Easy, friendly, gets the conversation started. Showing interest. Okay, so you've started the conversation. Now what? You need to show the other person that you're interested in what they're saying. This is really important because if you don't show interest, the conversation dies quickly. That's interesting. Use this when someone tells you something and you want to encourage them to keep talking. Tell me more about that. Perfect. This shows you're listening and you care. Really? How come? This is how you ask why in a more casual, natural way. How come is very common in spoken English. Oh, I didn't know that. This works well when someone shares information with you. That sounds amazing. Use this to react positively to something someone tells you about. Let me say that again. Repeat after me. That sounds amazing. Good. Now here's another important one. What's that like? You can use this to ask about experiences. Like if someone says they just moved to a new city, you can say, "What's that like?" How did that go? Great for asking about something that happened in the past. Maybe someone mentioned they had a job interview yesterday. You can say, "How did that go?" I'd love to hear about it. This shows genuine interest and invites someone to share more. Now let's talk about work-related small talk. This is huge, especially if you work in an office or any professional environment. These conversations happen every single day. What do you do? This is how we ask about someone's job in English. Not "what is your job," but "what do you do?" How long have you been working here? Simple question to ask a colleague. How's work going? This is more general. You're asking about their overall experience at work. Are you working on anything interesting? I like this one because it's more specific than just "how's work?" It gives the person something concrete to talk about. Busy day? Super casual. You can say this to a coworker in the hallway or by the coffee machine. Got any plans for lunch? Great way to be friendly and maybe even make lunch plans together. How was your weekend? Classic Monday morning question, right? Everyone asks this on Monday. Any plans for the weekend? And this is the Friday version. Okay, let me say that last one again. Repeat after me. Any plans for the weekend? Perfect. Now, here's one that's really useful. That meeting was productive. Productive means you got a lot done. You made progress. It was time well spent. This is a nice positive thing to say after a meeting. Thanks for your help with that project. Always good to show appreciation, you know? It builds good relationships at work. This is where conversations get more personal and more fun. When you talk about hobbies, you find out what you have in common with people. What do you like to do for fun? Direct and friendly way to ask about someone's hobbies. Have you seen any good movies lately? Entertainment is always a safe topic. Do you follow any sports? If you're into sports, this is great, but even if you're not, it's good to know how to ask. Are you into music? Another way to ask about interests. Are you into means do you like or are you interested in? Have you tried that new restaurant downtown? Food is universal. Everyone eats. Everyone has opinions about food. Do you like to travel? Travel is another topic that most people enjoy discussing. What kind of books do you read? For the book lovers out there, do you have any hobbies? Sometimes it's good to just ask directly. Let me say that again. Repeat after me. Do you have any hobbies? Great. Now, when someone tells you about their hobby, you can say, "That's a great hobby," or "I've always wanted to try that." These responses keep the conversation going and show you're engaged. Making plans and invitations. Sometimes small talk leads to making plans. Here's how to do that naturally. We should grab coffee sometime. This is very casual. Grab coffee just means meet for coffee. Are you free this weekend? Asking about availability. Would you like to join us? This is how you invite someone to join a group activity. Let's keep in touch when you meet someone nice and want to stay connected. It's a bit vague, though. If you really want to make plans, be more specific. Can I get your number? direct way to exchange contact information. I'll text you later, making a specific promise to follow up. Let me know when you're available, putting the ball in their court, letting them decide when. Okay, let's be honest. Sometimes conversations get awkward. There are silences, you forget what you were saying, someone makes a joke that doesn't land. It happens to everyone. Here are some sentences that help you navigate those moments. Sorry, what was I saying? It's okay to lose your train of thought, just acknowledge it and move on. I totally forgot what I was going to say. This happens to me all the time. Anyway, use this to change the subject or move past an awkward moment. Sorry, I didn't catch that. When you don't hear what someone said, it's better to ask than to pretend you heard. Could you say that again? Same idea, just asking for repetition. Let me say that again. Repeat after me. Could you say that again? Good. Now, sometimes you need to end a conversation politely. Here's how. Well, I should probably get going. This is gentle, not rude. You're indicating you need to leave. It was nice talking to you. Always good to end on a positive note. I'll let you get back to it, acknowledging that the other person is busy. See you around. Casual, friendly goodbye. These sentences are really important because they show you care about what the other person is going through. This is how you build real connections, not just surface-level chat. I'm sorry to hear that. When someone shares something difficult or sad, that must be tough, showing understanding of their situation. I can imagine you're saying you understand even if you haven't experienced it yourself. That's rough. Rough is an informal way to say something is difficult or unpleasant. I'm here if you need anything, offering support without being pushy. Congratulations, that's wonderful when someone shares good news. I'm so happy for you, celebrating their success. You must be so proud, acknowledging their achievement in a warm way. People love genuine compliments. They make conversations feel good, and they make people like you. But the key word here is genuine. Don't fake it. I love your jacket. Simple, direct compliment about what someone is wearing. You did a great job on that presentation. Work-related praise. Your English is really good. You might hear this one yourself as you're learning. That's a great idea, validating someone's contribution. You're so good at that, praising someone's skill. I really appreciate your help. This is stronger than just thank you. Let me say that again. Repeat after me. I really appreciate your help. Perfect. Now, these next ones are what I call fillers. They're little phrases that native speakers use constantly to keep conversations flowing smoothly. They don't always have much meaning on their own, but they're super important for sounding natural. You know what I mean? You say this to check if the other person understands you. I know, right? This is how you agree enthusiastically with someone. Very common. That makes sense, showing you understand their point. Fair enough. Accepting someone's opinion even if you don't fully agree. I guess so. A bit uncertain agreement. For sure, definitely, absolutely, yes. No way! Expressing surprise or disbelief. You're kidding! Similar to no way, showing surprise. Oh, wow! Simple reaction to show interest. That's crazy! Reacting to something surprising or extreme. These help keep conversations balanced. Balanced means equal, where both people get to talk and share. You don't want to just talk about yourself. Ask the other person what they think. What do you think? Do you agree? Checking if they share your opinion. How do you feel about that? Asking for their emotional response or opinion. What's your take on this? Take here means opinion or perspective. Have you heard about this? Bringing up a topic to discuss. Let me give you some final quick ones that are just generally useful in everyday conversation. That reminds me, when something triggers a memory or related story. Speaking of which, connecting to something mentioned earlier. By the way, introducing a new topic or side comment. I was just thinking, sharing a thought that occurred to you. Guess what? Building excitement before sharing news. No worries. Very casual way to say, it's okay, or don't worry about it. My bad. Informal way to apologize for a small mistake. Take care. Warm way to say goodbye. Have a good one. Casual goodbye. Wishing someone well. Catch you later. Very informal goodbye. Let me say that last one again. Repeat after me. Catch you later. Excellent. Now, here's what I want you to understand about all of these sentences. They're not meant to be memorized like a list of vocabulary words. That's not how language works in real life. Instead, think of them as a toolkit. A toolkit is a collection of tools you can choose from depending on what you need. When you're in a real conversation, you'll naturally reach for the phrases that fit the situation. The more you practice with shadowing, the more automatic this becomes. Let me give you some real scenarios. You're in an elevator with a colleague. Instead of awkward silence, you can say, "Busy day?" or "How's it going?" Just something light to be friendly. You're at a party and you want to join a conversation. You can say, "Mind if I join you?" or just, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" Someone mentions they went on vacation. You can say, "Oh, nice. Where did you go? And what was that like?" You see someone struggling with something. You can offer help. "Need a hand?" or "Can I help you with that?" The key is to sound natural and genuine. Don't force it. If a conversation isn't flowing, it's okay to politely exit. Not every small talk moment has to turn into a long conversation. You know, when I was learning my second language, I used to get so nervous about small talk. I could talk about complex topics, I could write essays, but put me in a casual conversation and I'd freeze. I didn't know what to say, I didn't know how to sound relaxed, and I definitely didn't know all these little phrases that native speakers use without thinking. But here's what I learned. Small talk is a skill. And like any skill, you can practice it and get better at it. The sentences I shared with you today, they're what native speakers actually say. They're tested and proven. They work. And the more comfortable you get with small talk, the more confident you'll feel in English overall. Because these conversations are practice. Every time you chat with someone about the weather or their weekend, you're getting more comfortable with English sounds, with English rhythm, with English culture. So don't dismiss small talk as pointless. It's actually really valuable, both for your relationships and for your English skills. So we covered a lot today, didn't we? 100 different sentences for small talk, from starting conversations to showing interest, from talking about work to making plans, from dealing with awkward moments to giving compliments. These aren't sentences to memorize mechanically. They're phrases to get familiar with, to start recognizing when you hear them, and to gradually start using yourself. The shadowing practice we did today helps your mouth get comfortable forming these sounds and patterns. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is connection. When you use these phrases, you're showing people you're friendly, you're interested, you're present in the conversation. And that's what matters. Small talk might seem small, but it's actually how big things begin. Friendships, job opportunities, relationships, all of it starts with someone saying something simple like, "Nice weather today," or "How's it going?" So the next time you have a chance for small talk, don't avoid it. jump in. Try one of these phrases. See what happens. You might be surprised at where the conversation goes. Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate you being here and working on your English with me. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. Take care.